Unless specifically indicated otherwise, the content expressed are my views only and not necessarily those of Life Pro Asset Management, LLC. The content presented is in no way an investment advice, solicitation, or an offer to sell securities or investment advisory services. The material is provided for general information and educational purposes based upon publicly available information from sources believed to be reliable. I cannot assure the accuracy or completeness of these materials. As such, the information in these materials may change at any time without notice. Reference to these discussions about IULs and annuities are fixed insurance products. Investments on fixed insurance products are different from investments in the stock market. Any guarantees provided by a fixed insurance product cannot be assumed to be guaranteed for any other investment.
Welcome to the Rock My Finances show on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV, where we put the fun in finance. Join Powerhouse Jennifer Joseph, CDFA, CMC, and Private Wealth Advisor, as she collaborates with you to create clarity, control, and confidence with your money, your way. It's not about the zeros, so what is it all about? Let's find out. Now here's your host and weekly friend, Jennifer Joseph.
Hey, y'all. We have such a great show for you today. I'm so excited. I can tell you that I am a very good host because I have not even met Pamela yet. And so I am very excited to have this conversation with you. I have been speaking with her assistant like all the time, know her voice and saw her today and said, hey, so we know each other from our voice. So she's amazing. So she has an amazing staff. She has an amazing story. And I cannot wait for you to hear everything that this woman is doing, because I'm here in her home, in her company, in the nonprofit. Everything is all rolled up into one, which I know many women out there can hear this and we would do the same thing, right? Like we just would. Like my clients come to my home all the time. So this is great. Okay, Ms. Pamela R. Clay,
yes.
Director, founder, I would imagine.
Yes, co-founder.
Co-founder of Living Advantage. Living Advantage, I'm going to let her tell you the story. However, it does have a little place in my heart because they help at-risk youth, which, if you know my story, very big in my heart, and foster children.
Yes.
I'm so excited. Yes. So glad to have you here.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited as well, but I'm also warm that you actually felt compelled to come and be with us today.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. I know you're working hard,
yes. And we know each other from WBN, Women's
Business Network, Beverly Hills Chamber.
That's right.
Yep.
And so that's been some wonderful connections there.
Yeah.
And well, you know what I would like to know a little bit, Jennifer. Why?
Oh, look at her, Type A taking control. What the hell is that?
Well, I just feel that I want to know a little bit about why at risk is so important to you, and then I'll chime in because that way it'll open up.
She's opening the onion, y'all.
Yes.
Okay. So most people know my beautiful son, Parker, has been suffering from addiction since he was 12 years old. We have 1 year and 1 month clean. And he'll be 25 very shortly. So it's been a long haul. He had the ADD and, all the great stuff to make him a little bit there. However, he's been at risk. We've been long 12, 13, 14, however many years it's been. And so, of course, you gravitate towards those people as well, right? Absolutely. So I've seen so much through his, all the different rehabs and then the NA meetings and, everything that he's been doing, because he's always just said, this is not what I'm trying to do. This is not what I'm trying to be. This is not my life's dream, of course. And that to me is the biggest thing. Look around you and say, would you have signed up for that? They did not. So we need to have compassion. And so that's my
so that's interesting because now I can chime in.
Yeah.
So Living Advantage started with my mother, Bernice Clay. She's the initial founder.
I saw her on the website.
Yes.
Yep.
Almost 30 years of being in the Los Angeles Unified School District. And she was a speech pathologist. So as a special ed teacher, of course,
that's what she got.
Yes, it usually with children who have, what do they say? Learning disabilities.
Sure.
Right? My mother found that 95% of the kids did not have a learning disability. Generally, they had challenges at home,
Mm.
or more emotional, more mental. And so during the course of her almost 30 years in the school system, I used to always ask, why was she always at court? Why was there always more family like dynamics as opposed to learning functions, learning
Right.
disabilities, right? And so as I matured and became an older person, realized that at home is usually where the issues, like he had ADHD.
Yep.
So then they prescribe medication.
Yep.
From the medication is how I'm sure your son got more, addicted to
Yep.
stimulant, right?
Yep.
Sometimes, we put a stigma on a drug use. It's really stimuli, being stimulated. Coffee, us
Right.
coffee drinkers,
Right.
that's the same thing. I
Yep.
mean, if you go to Starbucks every day, some people go twice a day. What is that considered, right?
Right.
So same thing. So
Yeah. Call me if you're going to Starbucks twice a day, dude. That's not okay. Call me.
that's not. I know some people have had heart attacks going to Starbucks a couple of times.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But in the transition to being highly stimulated and then being on medication, and then that's how my mom got involved with at-risk youth.
Right? Oh my gosh, bless her heart.
Yes.
And you took over?
Well,
and we don't always follow in our parents' footsteps.
I'm definitely not an educator. I'm not a social worker. My background is real estate investment. That's why I'm live rock my finances.
Right.
That's another reason why I guess our synergy is really good. But in the interim of my mom deciding that it was time for her to retire, she wanted to continue her legacy and her work with high risk youth, at risk youth. And what that led to was foster youth.
Yes.
Getting a home, a 6-bed home. We started in Orange County. My mom started the nonprofit Living Advantage in Orange County with a 6-bed group home for boys. Well, unfortunately, mom got ill. And, my thing was, we invested, I don't know, my background, my initial co-founding was the investment component, right?
Okay.
I was investing in real estate at the time. I had a lot of different type of more single family rehab and units, right? And so I said, well, how hard could it be, to have a home with kids? Literally 30 years later, this year, 30 years later, I am fighting the fight, and it's the kids that are just subjected to their family and their environment. You have to think about foster youth: abused, neglected, and abandoned. That's kind of the stigma that they have, right? But if you think about it, it's really usually family issues where maybe the parents are having issues, right? Have challenges, and the kids get caught up. It's not, and every single solitary situation is different. Every single one. Not every parent is in jail or abusing their child. You have some parents that were in the war. They're in the armed forces, and they pass, right? They die being in the armed forces. They go in foster care. How about the parents with mental illness? Yep. They go in foster care. How about parents that just get in a car accident, right? These kids are in foster care. So it's not always, where the family or the parents have, been abusing the children, and children are just these victims. But once they're in the system, then they become,
For sure, because our system sucks in this country.
It's really tough. They have a tough job. They have a tough job of keeping over 500,000 kids in our country.
Oh,
over 500,000 kids.
500,000 children in the foster care system.
Yes.
So when you're complaining about voting and all the bills and all the stuff that's happening, let's not forget about the 500,000 children that need good homes. And not only just good homes, but actually good mentors and parents to show them the way to a healthy, productive, successful, and joyous life. We always forget about this sector, I believe. Another little tidbit, I was switching companies in 2009 and zero income for 6 months.
Wow.
So I was driving foster children.
Oh. It was at one of the homes or one of the facilities?
It was the county.
The county.
So I was driving to court. I was driving
Yes.
to medical. I was driving to visitations. I would pick them up. And so I did that for 6 months as well. And most adorable kids ever in the whole world.
Absolutely.
Like, it was so great. It was, I'm so glad I did that.
Yes. Because it gives you an insight on the personality type of the kids.
Yeah.
And usually it's really survival mode. They're trying to figure out day by day just how they're going to eat, where they're going to sleep, how they're going to.
Why it's important to eat.
Yes. Yes.
Because when you're children at that age, the first thing that comes to your head is the first thing that you want to do. So that's not going to be, how am I going to be healthy a year from now? Because they don't even care.
Absolutely.
So there's so much of emergency. And I really believe that. So that I believe in law of attraction, as well as spiritual and all of that. Right. So what we focus on persists. What we have in our brain shows up.
Yes.
So we need to put good things in their brain. So bless your heart for everything that you're doing.
That's what Living Advantage does. If you think about someone in the foster care system or in the juvenile justice system, right? What do they need? They need support. They need a mentorship. They need heroes. They need someone that's going to be consistent. So on an average, I'll give you a little, let me give you a few stats so you can get an idea of over the 500,000 kids that are in the system. 80% are of color. Of course, low income, poverty. And one of the things that sticks out to me is that they're very transient. They move around while they're in the system. They move around a minimum of 7 times up to 20 times.
Oh,
we have one of our great kids. Now she's a young adult. She's moved 36 times in the foster care system, and I think over 20 schools. But guess what? Went to UCLA, went to UCLA, got her degree, went to a law school, and now she's an attorney for foster youth and their parents.
Oh, right? That makes me feel so.
Isn't that a wonderful testimony?
That's a great story.
And she's one of our kids, and that's why Living Advantage is going to be the mom and pops of foster youth nationally. We want you to join us to be the mom and pops. Our main goal is to ensure that they are consistently supported, whether it be academic, whether it be case, social services, whether it be a ear, just a mentor, somebody that needs additional advice on life. We just did a wonderful VIP career match, right? What is a VIP career match? Well, very important people that are being matched with some of our wonderful supporters like Jennifer here, and ensuring that they understand where their strengths are in their career goals, right? We did aptitude tests, making sure where their strengths are, and then matching them to some of the wonderful women in the business network and some of our other supporters. Karen Bass, right? Karen Bass, Mayor Bass,
nice.
Her company was there, her department was there. So our job is to support our kids. Our job is to be there when they need us, not necessarily for what their needs are, because sometimes think about it, when you're a 15-year-old kid and you need to stay in school to graduate, is that what's always going to happen?
Oh God, no.
Okay, even with our kids, even with the kids, anybody's kids. So therefore, we always have to look at it from, what do our kids want? What are their passions? What are their aspirations? That's what Living Advantage is about. So
awesome.
We had our 30th year anniversary.
Yay! 30th year anniversary, 1993.
Yes. So we had our 30th year anniversary, and what was my 30 years? What has my 30 years have been all about? My business partner that also co-founded, Eugenia Wilson, she's our program director. What is our culture of Living Advantage? What is the whole makeup of why we've been here for 30 years? We started out with group homes in Orange County, LA County. We did over a decade with having homes. And then I realized that, so I'm gonna back up 5 more years from that. We started our virtual services 25 years ago. We had an online community. I wish I was Mark Zuckerberg. I wish I was as smart as him, right? Because I wouldn't be sitting here with Jennifer right now. We'd be
on our island, dude. Yeah, we'd be on our island.
But guess what? I would be with my kids. That's
sure.
The whole thing. That's one thing about, when I talk about our culture. So we started virtual services over 25 years ago, right? Way before it was electronic mail, before email was popular.
Oh, yeah.
We did that because my background is not social service. My background is not academics. My background is investment, making money, right? Finances. So bringing my skill set, right, to this organization, it was like, how can I solve the problem of these kids? And one thing that I felt, one common denominator, is that they need a foundation and consistency. Whether even if it's just somebody to, hey, live an advantage for whatever reason, whatever. It could be for anything. I need services, I need bus pass, I need to go to college, I need to figure out how to get my high school diploma. Whatever it may be, they know they can call on one person, and that's us, right? And we do that. Not necessarily always being funded. You have to think about how services are provided to people because of funding, and then they have a particular service, right? And
Right.
and if the person doesn't qualify, if they're not eligible, then what happens? They don't get the service.
Right.
So Living Advantage is here with people like Jennifer because we're always going to support them. We're always going to be there for them. So they have somewhere to go, regardless if they're 12 or if they're 32. We've had some instances where we've had former foster youth coming up in their 30s because they still didn't have their personal identifiable information. They still didn't have a driver's license, or they didn't have their birth certificate or their social security card. So Living Advantage found a common denominator, a support system, and a foundation where they always can come to us.
I love that. And do they have to be in your vicinity?
No, not necessarily. So again, we, of course, have certain services in Los Angeles and in Riverside counties. However, when you think about the 500,000 kids that are scattered across the country, they just need to know what resources and services are in their area. So we have, it's called an e-lock box. We have a patent pending software that we developed to maintain their personal information, but also to keep their history, to gather their history. So we know, let's say, for instance, if they get a job when they're 15 and now they're 20, are they going to remember everywhere they lived or every job they had, or where was a job specifically? We keep that information.
My clients don't even know that.
There you go.
Yeah.
We keep their demographics.
I have a 401k over here. I have a 401k
Yes.
over here. I have no idea the name of that company because it changed.
There you go.
I have no idea.
And
Yeah.
that's so imagine our kids.
Yeah.
So that's our job, is to keep up with their information. Now they have a history, they have a foundation, and anytime they could be in Timbuktu, they could be in New York and say, hey, I'm filling out a job application. I can't remember where I worked and where I was 2 years ago. All we do is go. We're partners with Salesforce. That's a really popular CRM.
Yep.
A lot of people know about that. And we're on their base. They're one of our partners. And so they can call us, email us, text us, and we can go in, find out their history.
Wonderful.
And now they can continue on with whatever it is that they're needing to do for that time.
I love that. I love that. So that's
Yes.
one service. So do you
Yes.
have like a hotline?
Yes. we
Okay.
do. It's 1-888-371-2501.
And so they can call that
Yes.
for any reason.
Any reason.
I'm stranded. I can't find my bus pass.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know how to get to the next thing.
Absolutely. Right.
How do I do a resume?
Absolutely.
Why do I want to do a resume?
Yeah. Well,
What the hell is money going to do for me now?
there you go. Well, what I find is important is that on an average, just think about any young person, right? Is their aspiration? They're like, I can't wait to get out and get a job.
No.
It's really to have money to do what they want.
Right.
So you also have to identify why do you think you want to not go to school? What is the purpose of not going to school and getting a job?
Because I can make more money now.
Right. And I can do whatever I want to do.
Right.
Well, guess what? I had to learn the hard way. So one of the things that I don't want to say teach, but we instill in our kids is the importance of education. So I'll give you my testimony. So I grew up with a mom, a dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, cousins. I grew up in a very strong household, very strong family dynamics. And I went to, really great schools, but I was the type who I didn't want to extend myself. I didn't want to do the classwork. I wanted to go and do what Pamela wanted to do. Right. And I worked since I was 12 years old. I always had a job. I always worked. And so I didn't understand. And my mom was an educator, right?
Right.
And my dad was a master's degree in marketing. So, very, educated, family. They believe in college. They believe in, of course, I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to do whatever. I wanted to go out and make that $1 million right now. And so in doing so, I didn't have the best grades. I always in my you know how you have to take your placement tests.
Mhm.
You take your placement test. I always scored really high, but then when it came down to doing the actual schoolwork, even
So it just shows you're lazy. You didn't want to be doing the work. Yeah.
exactly
Obvious. Yeah.
Well, it was interesting because even in college, they would call my mom and say, "What the hell's going on with your kid? Why is she score high on the test and not worth the darn?" But it blocked me from being able to go to the school that I wanted to go to.
Yes.
When I finally decided what I wanted to do, it blocked me. So I give the story to my kids. I give that story to my kids to let them know it's not really about what you're going to do today. It's about what you might want to do tomorrow.
So just keep your options open.
Keep your options open.
And you can close them.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Okay, great. So now you have the 800 number. You have you're doing the software.
Yes.
You're being able to keep there.
Absolutely.
What else do you do for the kids?
So what
now?
we do on a daily basis is, of course, education. We have LAU, and we're in the Los Angeles Unified School District. We have access to all 750,000 kids, all in LA Unified School District in the city. We have contracts with the juvenile justice system. So what we do is we go into the schools. We assist, it's called the Los Angeles Dropout Prevention, the LA Living Advantage Dropout Prevention Service.
Oh, great.
And we target the kids that are, might drop out of school. So we just ensure that they don't. And we explain the reasons why it's not a good idea, why it's great to continue school. And you'll be surprised. Again, it's not really about them not wanting to go to class or wanting to do the work. Sometimes it's a lot of, again, family issues. Maybe the mom is ill and the student has to take their siblings to school, right? It could be that they're taking care of their parents. It could be that they're going to work late at night because they have to pitch in for the family, and they're getting up late and they're going
exhausted.
To school late. Yes. Yep. So there's again, every situation is different. That's why Living Advantage and our supporters is so important, that we're here for our kids. Because it's what they say, it takes a village to raise a kid.
It absolutely does.
That's us. We're the village. So we have to look at who our future is, our foster youth, right? Our at-risk youth. And now think about, there's so many more. The percentage of at-risk, high-risk youth are much higher than it was 10 years ago. You would think with all of the different services and the different opportunities and funding that it would be that balance would shift. But there's higher rates of at-risk youth. There's higher rates of suicide. There's higher rates of car accidents, drug abuse, alcoholism. Everybody, like your thing might be, alcoholism, right? You don't want to see kids, or you don't want to see people, becoming alcoholics. Well, when you look at the rate as it was 10 years ago, it's higher. So again, our job is taking our kids and ensuring that they have a pathway, that they have a foundation, and that they're going to do the things they need to do to be successful, right? We want our kids, we want our young people, whether they're in foster care or not, we still are a support system for them.
Right. So anyone that needs help.
So
how young would you say you help?
We start around 12. 12 is usually when they're going to middle school. So 12, 13.
So middle schoolish.
Yeah, middle schoolish, because we know we're trying to catch them before they get in the 10th, 11th grade,
right?
Where they kind of make a decision where they can give a darn, right?
That we don't care at that point.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Absolutely. And so, and then our job is really to go in, making sure that they don't fail out of school, ensuring that they have all of their social service needs. Do you have your bus pass? What do you need to stay in school and to
get to school?
To get to school,
right?
Stay in school, and then to graduate on time.
What about help them with the meal plans or all that? I mean, because there's so much red tape everywhere.
Absolutely.
Drugs, that's crazy.
Yes.
So imagine being a child trying to figure out how to get all this.
So we found our common denominator, right? Our common denominator is making sure they have a foundation and they have their identifiable information, the birth certificate, Social Security, because now they can get the benefits.
Right. They have to get that first.
Have to get that first.
Yeah.
They can't enroll in school if they don't have an ID.
Yeah.
They can't get their dental, their
anything, Medi-Cal, they need all that.
That's what I identify when they walk in the door. That's the first thing I get done. They go straight to get whatever, the birth certificate, so they can have a photo ID.
Yep.
How many times have you heard people getting in all kind of trouble because they don't have an ID?
Yep.
You can't drive without ID. You can't do anything without some form of ID.
Right.
Guess what the second thing it is? Advocacy. Advocacy.
Oh.
See, you see, I'm good at talking. I can sit here and talk to you
Yeah.
all day long.
Yeah.
I can give you all the answers to whatever questions you have. I can tell you where to go, how to go, who to go. Who do you need to talk to? Go on my phone, right?
Yep.
Our kids don't have that.
They can't.
They don't do that. A lot of kids don't have that leverage. So again, we advocate for them. So now, and we show them how to interact with the teachers, how to explain why they're showing up late or not coming to school.
And that's huge.
Yes.
And especially from what I've experienced, this is a long time ago.
Yes.
But they didn't understand. Like my son had many learning disabilities, not just the ADHD, but many more. And so until you got to that one special ed teacher like your mom that knew what the heck was really happening, all the other teachers think something different.
Yes.
So advocacy to teachers, I get that. How about the court system? Do you get involved with the court system?
Absolutely. My program director. So her background, after she graduated from San Diego State, she ended up she got it for criminal justice for juveniles.
Oh, wow.
She ended up in the probation camps for juveniles.
Oh, wow.
And she did that for over a decade. And
what a passion you ladies have.
Yes. And guess what? She said, I'm tired of doing the intervention. Living Advantage is prevention.
Yes. I love that.
So that's where I come from. And that's where the other co-founder comes from.
That's your bumper sticker.
Yes.
I love
and you
that.
know what's interesting. I'm so glad you're here and you're involved, because we have to get to the masses for everybody to understand that once we get this foundation laid out and the kids see. Now, one reason why I don't give out the phone number, or we're not gun ho are the kids, is because you have to have a certain amount of funding to be able to be consistent.
Yes.
To be consistent and not have eligibility issues. Like, in other words, we only have enough for 20 kids.
Yes.
Or we only deal with kids in zip code 900.
Yes.
Right? I meant that is the word. So Living Advantage over these 30 years have built all of these wonderful relationships. And so now we are building out we call it the 3330 Club, where we have 3,000 people donate $3.30. We can service 300 kids a year. So guess what? Every year we get 3,000 supporters. Every year, 3,000. So it keeps increasing to thousands of kids. And eventually we'll get those million supporters all over the country that say, I can donate $3.30. And now we can service any kid we want. So you'll
Love that.
You're going to see Living Advantage, the billboards, kids call us. Like right now, we have a partnership with CalFresh, free EBT, free food.
Yeah.
They can literally get their EBT card and go out. Of course, they give you a limit on the amount that they can use.
But it's still hard to get the darn card.
It's very difficult. You don't want to see the application. You wouldn't fill out the application.
No.
I mean, it's that, and I'm an adult. I wouldn't fill out the application.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. So
yeah,
that's
we need you. We need that for sure. So how can someone donate? Go to we've been scrolling your website, livingadvantageinc.com.
.org.
Livingadvantageinc.org.
Living Advantage.
They can, I would imagine, donate all on that website.
Yes, it should be. And you know what, though? Also give us a call, because what's going to happen anyway, I'm just going to let you know, once you donate, we're going to call you anyway, because we're going to say, okay, what are your passions? What do you like? Do you know we did a survey, and most people don't donate or don't get involved in nonprofits is because they haven't found their passion. Well, I know Jennifer's passion is finance.
Yep.
And guess what? We do financial literacy workshops, virtual financial for our kids. So I found her passion. So I know she's going to be passionate about being a supporter for Living Advantage.
Yep.
What are some of your hobbies? What are your interests? What are your experiences that you would want to share with somebody? That's all Living Advantage is about. Sharing your experiences, sharing your expertise, your knowledge with our kids, so they can what? So they can have that knowledge and experience.
They need to experience.
Absolutely.
As we know, words don't teach, experience does.
That's right.
So let me ask you this. A lot of people want to make sure that most of their money is going towards the kids.
For sure.
So, or whatever.
Yes.
Like, how do you do that?
So it's really super simple. We actually, if you can go on to our actual tax returns, our 990s, and you can see the percentage. We're like 18% administrative and 80, the other, I think it's 82, 83% programming. But you know what? We call you guys and bug you guys so much. You guys are hanging out with us when we're doing our stuff at the school, when we're doing our virtual or hybrid in-person workshops. We do STEM. We're a STEM organization. We partner with USC. We've been recipients of the Good Neighbors funding for over 10 years. So we work with Marshall School of Marshall, the Viterbi. Viterbi help us put together our patent pending technology, USC Viterbi School. We work with USC Joint Educational Project. They partner with us and they go out and give us the tutors to go in the schools.
Oh, that's helpful.
The USC neighborhood schools. So we leverage and balance our resources all day long. So again, don't worry, you're going to know what we're doing because we're going to call you and say, hey, do you want to come out? Do you want to participate?
Do you want to do
and
this?
we even ask you, what do you want to see for us to do?
Right.
Because I just met someone, WBN.
Love it.
She's the tennis guru.
Nice.
She wants to do tennis lessons. So
that's great.
My sister got her scholarship from Beverly Hills High playing tennis. So I'm an advocate bodybuilder. I have trophies all over the place. I'm a swimmer. I'm a diver. I roller skate. Our kids have done so many things over these 30 years. They've had so much fun.
I'm so glad.
They ski with us. They snowboard. Trust me, you're going to know what we do. If you go on our website, if you look at our social media, by the way, we're looking for a really strong social media expert that wants to just blow us up, wants to make us go viral. We want you to test out your skills with Living Advantage, INC.
Oh my God, I love it.
Come test your skills out. Show us that you can take us viral to get those 1 million followers. Imagine being able to literally take our kids to do whatever we want, whatever they think they might want. That's our job. Our job is to do that. And we're excited about it.
How many kids do you have at any one time?
Average of prime example, we're in June, right? We're about to hit July. We've already serviced over 300 kids.
Oh, wow.
We had a really good clothing drive with one of the Beverly Hills orgs. I'm sorry, I can't think of the name offhand, but it was at the Beverly Hills fire station, right?
Nice.
So we got all these wonderful clothes, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like to get a lot of used donations, right? Because you know why? I want my kids to have the best.
Exactly. They need
all
new.
my kids to tell you we are always very important people to Living Advantage. They're always VIP. If they get concert tickets, they get sporting event tickets. Don't give me nosebleed. You better give me VIP in the front. Or guess what? I'll tell my kids to watch it on TV. They won't go. I've done that before, right? Because yes, the experience is fine, but my kids need to feel special. They need to feel important, right? And so we had this clothing drive, and I was a little kind of adamant, not adamant, just I wasn't really sure how receptive my kids would be because I am a little protective of my kids, my babies. And so we got all these wonderful clothes. We had this big clothing drive at the school. Oh my God.
They loved it.
Oh my God. I had no idea. They loved it that we ended up going back. I think a couple of weeks later.
Good.
And to do another. And they did some more. They loved it so much. They were asking for us to come out and give more clothes.
So there's a whole shift mindset with this generation because
Absolutely.
They care about the planet. They care about. We are going. I want some new shit.
You know what?
They got a whole different mindset. They love
exactly
vintage. They love consignment. They love not wasting.
They do.
I know. I love that.
It was so just heartfelt to watch the kids just get all involved and make sure they share with their siblings.
Sure.
They got close with their siblings.
That's
and
cool.
then of course we said, well, how about the aunts and some of the things that were a little for older people. So it was really inspiring for me. And I'm
right. We're always learning.
Yeah, always learning.
Yeah. I was walking down the street and there was a line and I'm like, oh, where are they going?
Yeah.
And it was a swap meet.
Wow.
I'm like, dude, you guys are all 20 somethings.
Absolutely.
What the heck?
Isn't
and they
that
were so
interesting?
excited. I'm like, okay, so this is a whole generation
that's a
thing.
whole new thing.
Yeah, I love that.
I totally agree.
So you're very busy with the kids.
Yes.
Then. And you have a lot of supporters. So let's say someone's in New York right now and they're listening to us in New York.
Absolutely.
How can they maybe even hook you up with the foster kids in New York?
Absolutely. So so what we've done over the past is that we share, like one of the things we do is we share our opportunities and our and our
'Cause I'm sure there's
services.
someone there in New
Yes.
York, so maybe you guys
Yes.
can partner
Exactly.
until either one of you can get
Right.
big enough to
Yes.
do
Yeah.
more.
And we just share information. We share strategies.
Yeah, that's great.
If there's kids that need particular things that they don't have access to, or they're not sure of, because now we can go on our phones and pretty much Google anything. But you can Google it, you can call, but you might not get the response. Again, that's where living advantage.
Or the red tape is
you get the red tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So let me ask you this. You might not know it.
Okay.
Did it get worse over COVID?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No. It
Ridiculously, right?
It got ridiculous for the simple fact that you have to think about if you're looking at foster youth or high risk youth, just at risk youth in general. They're already, below the poverty level.
Their only constant maybe is going to school to get a meal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only constant is being able to go to this building and interact with their friends and get the services that are there. Right. So if they're not getting that, then how are they getting all of the interactions? They're getting the food, they're getting the additional resources and benefits. Right. So yes, but guess what? By us being already virtual, it was easier for us to make that transition. But now that's where it came into. That's why we've been asking for funding for decades for virtual services. And the first thing that, of course, most of the funders, the foundations, why, it's not important. That is not going to serve them. But of course, when we went COVID, now everybody sees the
now
advantage.
they're on your bandwagon.
Now they see the advantage. But now again, it's still the same thing. Where's the funding and the red tape and the bureaucracy? So that's why I feel that our community can better serve us, and that way we can better serve our kids.
I love that. So you're always fundraising. You're always
absolutely increasing our support system so our kids can have a constant.
Yep.
I kind of don't want to bring up some of the the office stuff, but we just had a shift with one of the political figures. They shifted some funding around, and of course they're giving it to their friends. They're giving it to their people, right? I'll just make it simple. Yep. And so guess what? Now that cuts us out, that makes us have a setback for us to be able to continue our services.
Right.
So that's why I say we need to build and we need to do more of these podcasts and let more people know that their $3.30 is going to go a long way. That consistency will go a long way and help so many more people, where we don't have to worry about the political realm, the political waters, the bureaucracy of if somebody else comes into this area.
Exactly. You need your own foundation, regardless of what's going on in political venues.
And there you have it.
Yeah. It doesn't matter who's in or out.
Doesn't matter.
And that's what I do with my clients is I make sure that they're going to have their money, their retirement, no matter who's in the White House, no matter who's doing what, no matter what the stock market's doing, you have to have a constant. So we have like that in realm too,
well,
the foundation. Yep. The foundation and the constant.
Yes.
Okay. So we can obviously, if we're in the area, we can help physically as well.
Sure. Well, we do our virtual. So again, you don't have to be just like when we did the VIP career match. We didn't have all of our vendors.
People here.
They weren't at the school. They actually we did a Zoom, or they might have did one of the other type, the Google Meets or whatever.
Yeah.
But they did the virtual.
Right.
And then guess what? Even the ones that weren't available there, we still had their information. We still knew exactly the way. We still matched our kids. We don't need you present. That's our job. That's why we're getting the funding. That's why we're getting the wonderful support and contributions from all of you. So you don't have to be present, but we're doing the work.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we are all here to take care of the children. We all have our passions. We have our missions.
Yes.
Mine is women.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this. And I can also say, being nurturing women as we are, we are we can be Miss President of Nonprofits can be the most unhealthiest person or staff of nonprofits can be the most unhealthy because they're giving so much. How can we support you and your staff?
I think what you're doing right now, Jennifer, just coming out, letting people know who we are and what we do. And you're right. I've been up since 3:00 this morning. Yesterday, I was up at 4:00. Yeah, didn't go to bed till midnight, 1:00. But again, my background is in health and working out. I have a gym here on premise. I do eat, 80% Well, I am a health fanatic. My mom, okay, so if you guys don't know, my mom started the nonprofit but got ill. She got breast cancer.
Oh.
And back then, you got to think about the 1990s, they were pushing the, the HRTs?
Oh.
Yeah, they were pushing the menopause medication. Yep. And if you look at all of the side effects of that, my mom had every single one of them. It was heart-wrenching. My mother did marathons. My mother swam. My mother played tennis. Very healthy woman, extremely healthy woman. And to start taking these, and they say don't only take them max, I think 3 months, 6 months. My mom took them for over a decade.
Yeah.
So
they did back then.
They did, yes. And so that's how my mom got breast cancer, ended up getting cancer and passing on. So I do understand health. And so that's another thing I provide for my kids. When my kids would come into the home, like I said, the first thing we did is make sure they had their identification. Second thing we did is, this is how you're going to eat. Vegetables. In the morning, you get your fruit, right? Afternoon, we're hoping you're eating something healthy. And then at night, they would have the first meal they would have is vegetables, a bowl of vegetables. Sure, they had, whatever the menu.
Yeah.
But guess what? They would eat their vegetables first, because guess what? That helped fill them up. They had something nutritious. Now the vegetables, and that was another thing. You have a home of 6 boys, and you'll be surprised. One boy is eating salad, another boy is eating broccoli, another boy is eating. I told myself I didn't give a dang what vegetable they had. They can have whatever vegetable they want. And guess it worked so well. And it worked well when when I had my baby. It worked well for my baby. But
how old's your baby?
My baby's 35.
Yeah, exactly.
She's my sweetie pie. By the way, it's our 30th year for Living Advantage and my 60th year on Earth.
Me too.
Yes.
September.
Yes, mine was March.
Oh, Pisces.
Yes, I'm a Pisces.
You are a driven Pisces.
Yes, well, thank you.
I love that. I love that.
Absolutely.
Love it. This is the year, man, of celebration.
It is.
So do you still have group homes?
No.
Okay, now it's all virtual and supportive and advocacy and helping all of that.
We found that our again, the bureaucracy. And I keep bringing that
hard,
up.
Yeah.
But they had your hands tied. There's so many. It's very limited on how we can help our kids.
Yeah.
So now, see, we go and we help. I don't know how many group homes we serve.
So many more now.
Yes.
And do you have a grant writer on staff or help?
Yes. We have just hired a new one, but I'm looking for a good volunteer.
Grant writers.
Yes. Always looking for
grant writers. We're talking to you.
Yes.
Call Living Advantage.
Call Living Advantage. 888-371-2501. 888-371-2501.
I love it. I love that. Well, and I love your energy. The kids must love you.
Yeah, I don't get to spend as much time with the kids as I would like. But again, as we continue to build capacity and being able to take our, go viral, right?
Yes.
Then I would
go
be
viral.
able to,
I like that. I like that word.
I'll be able to hang out with my kids more.
Okay, so we have 7 minutes left.
Oh, wow, no.
I know. And
you talk too much, Jennifer.
Oh, I know. Shut the hell up, woman. I know I'm terrible. Sorry. Okay, so let's if there's anything important that you want to get in there.
Well, I know one thing. I'm writing a book.
There, I do.
I'm writing a book.
Okay.
It's called How to Capitalize in the Foster Care System.
Oh, you mean to actually
how to capitalize. So now you got to buy the book to figure out how.
I love it.
And so I'm right almost at the end of the self-editing.
Good.
And so I'll come back on specifically
and we'll talk about
the book.
That's a great idea.
That way it'll get people to think. So right now you just have to think about how to capitalize in a foster care system. So what is that book all about?
Right.
Why am I writing my very first book? And this is to show you my expertise in this industry. But again, why how to capitalize? Why is that so important? You'll find out soon.
Oh my God, that's going to be so good. Yes. Cliffhanger, y'all. Cliffhanger. I love it. Open loop. Okay, good. Yes. So that's good. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Do you bring spirituality or religion in anywhere in your company?
Yes. So when I'm talking, I think one of the first things I talk about is that I'm a Christian. I believe wholeheartedly in the Spirit of the Lord, my Jesus Christ. And the main reason why I say that is because now you know where my center is.
Right.
And that's what my belief is. And I don't care what you believe in, but whatever you believe in, it's okay because that's your center and your belief. But now you know generally where I'm coming from. And I take a hard stand. I'm like that tree and I'm not going to move. I'm not going to budge because that grounds me and that allows me to, all the blessings that I received my whole life, I'm able to spread it out to everyone else. And that's why I make sure people understand that. I'm a strong believer. I like to share when I'm talking with my kids. I like to share experiences and testimonies as to how it's strengthening me and how it's going to strengthen them.
I love that. So I'm a big 12-stepper.
Oh, okay.
And so I do believe in a higher power,
Yes.
God, Jesus, whatever you want
to,
anybody, whatever, but it's not just us, y'all.
Yes.
I talk to my angels every day.
That's right. That's right.
My angels has got me through an amazing weekend and everything happened so perfectly. And that was so not me.
Wow.
Like for me standing here on this earth right now, I should not be here. So I know that I'm here for a reason. And there's so much bigger at work than just us. So to have that holding us up, whatever you want to call that, pick your name. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Just knowing that you are not alone. It's not just you, and more of us power together is power empowered together.
Yes.
Make us stronger.
And also it allows us to be able to share it. Yeah. Like when I talk about your experiences, your expertise, your education, the things that you're passionate about, that's why it's there, because it wants to come out and be able to share it and give it to other people to build them up, to make them strong. So now think about how to capitalize in the foster care system.
I love her.
I got you there.
Yeah,
right?
that was good. That was good.
There you go.
That was good.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to even
there you
reading
go.
that. I love that.
It.
So here's it just left. What was it? It was probably really good.
That's okay.
Okay.
But that all ties in together.
Yes, it absolutely ties in. Oh, there we go. So sometimes as teenagers, I'm going to just say it, when we're talking about religion or spirituality, some of them turn completely everything over, but then they don't take responsibility for what's really happening.
Yes.
So just you as a human woman sitting next to me in flesh and blood on this planet, I don't like checking our brain at the door is what I say. Like, yeah, we have free will. I have agency over myself, my emotions, my feelings, my actions, and my behaviors. And so how do you bring that in any way?
Absolutely. So I told you one of the first things we do when they step in the door is make sure they have their information, right? So the first conversation I have is I'll give you a quick testimony. So the first boy that came into our home, he was 12-year-old Caucasian boy, really cute little boy, comes in with a paper bag, and he comes in. I'm like, well, where? And it slipped out kind of. Where's your mom and dad? Where's your social? I'm like, where's every? He was like, oh, they just left. They said that my paperwork's in the bag. And I mean, I was floored. I was just like, oh my, because you got to imagine, I'd never experienced foster care. I grew up with a family.
Right.
I didn't know anything about foster care.
You would have never been left off nowhere.
Never. Are you kidding me?
I know. Right?
Never.
There's no way.
And so
you wish.
Yes. And so I'm going through the questionnaire with this kid. And so, of course, he doesn't know half the questions. And I don't know what that. He's starting to cry. I'm starting to cry. And the only thing I could think of was, oh my God. So guess what? You're going to have to take responsibility for yourself. But guess what my job is? Is to be here to make sure it gets done. My job is to help you. I'm here. You have a roof over your head. You have food. You have clothing. You're going to go to the doctor. That's my job, is all your necessities. Your job is the responsibility of figuring out what you want to do. And my strength and my capability, I got you.
That makes me feel so good.
That's how.
That makes me feel so good.
The answer to your question is that's how I start off.
Yes, and
yes,
for sure.
That's
and
how you start off.
And
that's the main thing. You have to let them know that. Guess what? I'm here for a purpose. You're there. You got to figure it out. And there's certain ways. Then you start talking about. I tell them my strength and my grace comes from God. That's where mine comes from. I know where mine comes from because God is talking to me and told me that. Now we'll figure out where yours come from, and you can figure it out. But right now we're gonna see what you want to do and where you want to go.
I love that.
And then they just automatically be like, okay, because we've had a lot of gangbangers, drug
Sure.
dealers and, the cool guy, they're cool, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's the first thing you do is just say, I'm over here, but I got you. Now you got to tell me where we're going.
Oh, I love it. Oh, Pamela, I so enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you.
So we're going to have her back, y'all, when she's going to give us the open loop of her book.
Yes.
Can't wait. How to capitalize on in the foster system.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you so much.
I greatly
really
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, love,
that
love,
was
love.
nice. Thank
love,
you very
love.
much. Thank
She's
you,
amazing.
guys. Thank you for listening.
livingadvantageinc.org.
Yes.
livingadvantageinc.org. Yeah, check it out. Donate that $3.33.
Yes,
See what you
please.
can do. Anybody that's in the professional, let's
Absolutely.
jump on there and be mentors.
Yes.
Let's see what we can do with Pamela. I love it. I love
Alrighty.
you, and
Thank
your staff are
you.
amazing. Thank you all. Thanks, Juan. I love my engineer.
All righty. Thank you.
We appreciate you joining us today, and don't forget to subscribe to the Rock My Finances YouTube channel for more engagement and bonus content. Tell me, what is your money story? Let's find out with Jennifer, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, every Thursday right here on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. It's not about the zeros, it's about the F word, feelings. Feelings Jennifer can't wait to explore with you next week. Until then, let's all say, I rock my finances.